doing is an intelligent approach to, hey, nobody wants to come in here and spend this. I know it hurts you, but nobody wants to do that.
You talked about walking into a comic book store that had all these black and white statues that were older.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, like, why do they have all those there?
I thought that
nobody bought them.
You don't make money unless they sell out.
They're
Now, mind you, I just kind of to defend myself, I don't gouge prices. I don't mark them some insane amount. There's a lot of toys where I'm making 10 or 15 or 20% off of a toy, and you buy a $20 toy and I'm making maybe $4 off of it, which doesn't even pay for the employee to be there for that hour that you bought that toy from.
Right.
I'm literally pricing my stuff in such a way that tries to make it aggressive, because I know that I can't do the $400 model because people will just not buy that one thing.
And that's my whole point too. Is I'm shocked that anybody buys it. I'm shocked that anybody goes in the store and thinks that.
But what's offensive is the fact that these people.
I'm going to ask a question at some point.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. And it said at some point. Finish what you're saying.
Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna move a little bit further back. We're gonna talk about a $4 comic book. We're going to set the margin at 50%.
Okay.
Not that it is, because it changes based upon the publisher and volume that you buy. So there's a lot of people that love a lot of independent press and are excited to see their Fireflies on the shelves and their Buffy the Vampire Slayers and their Black Hammer stuff. But we're now going to talk about what it means to have something sitting on your shelf.
That was going to be part of my question.
Right. So I have a title that sells 10 copies. We'll just say 10 copies, right? So $4 comic books, we'll just say, in order to break even, I've got to sell, what's that math? 5 of those copies.
Five pays for the other 5.
5 pays for the other 5. So I didn't make any money. If I buy 10 copies of something and I sell 5 of them, I've lost money. I haven't made any money.
If you sell 10, you broke even?
I sell 6. I made $2. Doesn't pay for the employee that's there. Doesn't pay for the overhead. Doesn't pay for the electricity to be there, for the ability for you to browse. Right? I've still taken on 4 copies that are sitting there. I've only made $2. I moved to 7 copies sold. I've made $4. I'm kind of getting close to paying an employee there for an hour, but I've still got 3 copies on the shelf. I sell 8 copies. I've made $6, but I've still lost $4 in the 2 copies that are sitting on the shelf. So you understand why, in terms of volume, anything selling a small number doesn't do me any good to have extra copies.
Right.
If it's a book that sells 4 copies, I should only buy 4 copies. I should not buy a 5th copy.
Right.
Because I've lost money. It's kind of hard to talk about this breakdown. It's something that sells 100 copies. That's great. I can have 5 copies sitting on the shelf.
Right.
Because it's 100 copies that I've sold.
Again, all that entirely, I get that. I think that it's just the disconnect when I see, you're not, the store I'm talking about, you are not that store. It's just when I see stores like this that I walk in, and they're being a musician. You want to talk about, oh my God, you want to talk about the markup that goes on with instruments? Holy shit. There are times where, and it's like if I were to buy a new top tier guitar, I wouldn't buy it from anywhere like Guitar Center, because you just know.
You're paying for the name Guitar Center?
If it's a $2,000 guitar, you're paying $3,200. No, I'm not doing that. And that's just my whole point, is it seems that you've thought this out so purposely. And if this was only 1 or 2 models, these big ones, but every one of their models are drastically marked up.
Here's the problem.
And anyone that is into this thing probably knows what I'm talking about.
This is the problem.
Yes.
I'm going to push here.
Push.
You guys work in an industry or a situation where you don't see that physical connection to what your service or your value is.
Well, no.
I work in an industry where I physically see and set prices, and I see how much that taps back into what I can do to pay my rent and my insurance and my health care and my employees' health care and my physical location, all that stuff. You guys work in some nebulous world where you don't see the value of your service. Okay. You get a paycheck and you don't sell a physical service and think to yourself, good, They're paying $10 for access to my website. I need $5 to pay everything that I've got.
Please
I
hear.
can't bring that down to $6
Don't
or
take
$7.
this as a personal thing. You're not the person I'm questioning. I'm saying just the same as that.
Are we having a fight?
There are
Mom, Dad?
there are
I'm
people.
just saying.
And I
you're
get
talking
that.
about being mad about that company selling this
Not
thing
mad.
for $400.
I'm not mad. I don't understand it. That's what I'm saying to you. Is that what I'm trying to say? Is it's the same as working in the internet world. I see other people that do things the wrong way, in my opinion, and I'm like, yeah, well, they're doomed. They're going to go down the toilet. Their business model doesn't work. Your business model, what you're talking about, 100% sense, and that's why I even turned to you and I said, if I buy things from you, can I do that? I would rather shop with you. You're my friend. I'd rather see that, and I think you're being
Help a
fair.
local
I
business,
think
yeah.
that over there, I don't understand anything about their philosophy of business.
I think my point is not necessarily to you. I'm saying that when you work for a company, that you don't have a physical product that you sell, that you don't see the margin that is being charged for that product that's being multiplied by what needs to pay for the things that are happening. You don't have a sense of how much something has a value of.
Well, I totally know what you're talking about. When I worked for Blockbuster, I worked for Blockbuster Online. The company went out of business. I no longer work there. I can't point at anything to say, here's what I did, or hold up something and say, here's what I made. Everything was online, and now everything is just gone.
Well, yes, and I get that too.
They had a very base rental of a video that was X amount that gave them X amount of profit, and they were a larger company, therefore they could do a volume and give a better discount to the point that it was that thing. But when you work for a company without actually physically selling a product, you don't have a sense. I mean, I have people that work in graphic design that sell their product or services, and they have to give themselves a margin in order to actually live off that margin. But when you walk into a store and see a physical product, you just assume they can discount it to the point that they don't make
it
any
move
money.
or whatever. Yeah.
And the same thing online. These people can sell stuff online and make 5 and 10% because they're just making $4.
And so you also
they don't
have
physically take it in.
You also have a volatile market because you can buy something for you it costs $4, but then the next week for whatever reason it might be valued at $20, and so you can potentially mark it up for that. But that doesn't happen very often, and when you do that, so I know you get charged on your stock that you hold on every year for taxes.
Okay, well that's another story. Yeah.
Are you charged on the amount of stock you have, or what the amount of stock is valued?
On the cost, not.
So
not
how do you determine that based on issue X might be worth $20 now, but then drops off to $5 because there's no demand for it anymore?
Well, no, I'm charged for costs. So
okay. So
I'm
not
charged
value,
for,
but cost.
Yeah.
All right.
So property taxes in Texas are assigned based upon the value of your inventory, based upon the cost that you bought it for.
Gotcha.
And you can depreciate it over time. So we were talking about Texas being one of the few states that actually has a property tax based upon inventory, which means that all the businesses in Texas, if you're holding a can of soup and you didn't sell that soup in a year outside of it possibly not being good soup, you're charged taxes on that soup again based upon what you bought that soup for. So if I have an issue of the giant size X-Men that I bought for $300 and I'm trying to sell for $500, that value is $300. So at the end of December 31st of 2019, I'm charged taxes on that $300 that I spent on buying that comic book. Say I don't sell it the next year, I'm then charged again $300 or the tax of $300 on that item being in 2021 and 2022 and 2023. So most businesses in Texas should actually physically get rid of as much as they possibly can every single year. There's no point in having inventory.
Holding on to it, yeah.
It's better for me to shed it off.
That's why you do your
at
quarter
40
comic
or
sales.
50% off or a quarter comic book sale to try and get rid of this inventory because I don't want to be taxed on it.
Sure.
There's no value in me having inventory. None of the stores in Texas want to have an inventory because they get charged on it. Now, the beauty of the way Half Price Books does their model, you guys are familiar with Half Price Books, right?
Yep.
So here's what they do. They said, we're buying. We have our sales department. You want to bring something in. Half Price Book says we have $300. As a buyer, you can spend that $300 on anything that you want. They don't itemize their stuff. They don't assign higher value to stuff. They just spent $300. So at the end of the year, $300 times however many days they have, that's how much inventory they have. That's the value of their inventory.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They didn't buy individual items. and they're not also itemized. That's the penalty that I have. My items are itemized.
What they are, yeah.
The tax authority comes in and says, what do you have? I'm like, well, here's a printout.
Right.
A lot of the comic book shops don't necessarily have that itemized thing. That's just kind of a generic thing. We spent $50,000 in inventory. We sold 35. Our value of inventory is 15. I literally have a breakdown of every single individual item in my store. If somebody wanted to come in and go, we're going to ping you. Okay, cool. Here's the value of inventory. I can print that out right now. So there's also a trick in Texas about the value of inventory, and you kind of want to get rid of it just because you don't want to
pay taxes on it.
2031.
Right.
And you don't want to pay taxes on it again and again.
Yeah.
Now, you can depreciate it over time if you want to, but you've also got to have a point of sale that's smart enough to know when you depreciate things, and that's also kind of hard. So that was a kind of a random roundabout way.
Here's a weird question. So have you heard about this new company by the guys that used to run Valiant called Bad Ideas?
No.
Oh, okay. So I think everything I'm hearing you say, I do not know how this company is going to last. So this is what they're doing. These are the guys who rebooted Valiant. They're going to be doing an intentionally limited number of series, only 1 or 2 single issues per month. They're going to do a $3.99 cover price. They're going to do no variants, no reprints, no trade paperbacks, no digital versions, and they're only going to start off selling to 20 stores, and they're only going to allow people to buy 1 copy per person. A, how do you police that? B, how do you grow as a company when you're saying, I'm deliberately being small, I'm only going to sell to 20 companies, I think they're going to open up to 50 eventually, but no reprints, you can't buy more than 1 copy, no collections, no digital. So if you can't get it from the niche market you can find it, you're never going to see it. How does that work as a company?
I have no idea how they're going to make that happen.
And how would you buy that as a business? Would you support them at all to say, I can only get a copy per person that's going to get it here, so 10 people, and that means I can't make a profit because I've sold them all to break even?
So keep in mind, you need to keep in mind that if a store sells something out, they made a profit.
Okay.
They didn't discount it. I mean, that's the thing. If I bought 4 copies of a Dark Horse book and I sold out of all 4 copies, I made a profit. I didn't lose any money. I mean, sellout is great. If I bought 1 Batman black and white statue and I sold it even for $5 over what I paid for it, I made a profit.
Right.
I mean, that's the thing you got to remember. If somebody sells something without it being a discount, that's the hard thing about sales, though. Sometimes I realize that I'm just trying to get my cash back out of it.
Yeah.
Or I'm losing a little bit of money. I paid $25 for something. I'm selling it for $20. I lost $5, but I got my $20 back out of it. I mean, when you look at stores doing extreme sales, you got to think about the fact that what are they making off of it? Are they making 10%? Are they making 5%? Are they getting their cash back? Are they losing money? I mean, when I see these clothing stores do 40% off or buy one, get one, or those kinds of things, I'm going to my head like, what's their margin? How much are they making? Are they making 10%? I look at like Banana just did a 40% off sale off their jeans, and I'm like, that doesn't even pay for like the real estate they're in terms of their physical
But then
store.
again, is that the loss leader that gets you into the store to buy the jeans, and then there's a shirt that goes with it, and that hat over there looks nice, and yeah.
It's crazy to think about that discount and that percentage. The thing that I harped on this earlier. The thing that I have a hard time with is the fact that there's a lot of price gouging in terms of what retailers are charging, and I feel like a lot of people that work in industries that don't have a physical product to sell don't really fully understand what that means.
Yeah.
What it means to set an established price for something when a comic book is $4 and what all that pays. They assume they want the best discount they can, and they should get the best discount that they can get. However, they also would not want to discount their own services to the companies they pay by half off.
Yeah, of course.
Because they want to get 20% off their sales.
To this whole point, I want to go back to what my original question was. I'm not questioning someone like you. I look at your business as fair. And when I look at your business, could I probably go online and find things for cheaper? Yeah, but to that point, I'm like, fuck it. I like you. I like your store. I like being able to go and get it myself, pick it up. It's when I go to these other places when it's so exorbitant that I begin. My question is, man, I see if I'm running a business, and I do run a part of a business, no, I don't have a physical product, but I still have to understand this is what it costs for us to do it. Here's your cost to do this. This is where we turn our profit. If I'm not going to turn the profit, I'm going to lose my business. And I look at these people and I think,
how are they staying in
how
business?
that's my question is literally with somebody like this, because everything in there.
How long has it been sitting there, by the way?
I saw it first about 5 months ago.
Okay.
So it was still there. I just went the other day to look. My question is not so much